Alrighty, it took us a little bit to get going there. We had some internet issues going on here. Oh man, two cars collected right there. We're back again, Signature Esports Road Series, and I am joined in the broadcast booth by Mr. Joe Miranda. Joe, how are you today?
Jason, I'm thrilled, man. I love a good night of road racing on a Friday night. You can't ask for much more than this. We're doing Detroit. It's Bel Isle. It's a street course. It's uneven. It's just a lot of fun to watch.
Bel Isle is the racetrack that we're at. That is the Detroit road course. We're watching Mario Miranda right now come around. He's going to make an attempt to try to complete a lap right now. Simeka out there in a BMW. He's going to be sitting on the pole right now as the 10-minute timer is about to be up, where these drivers are coming around just trying to get around. It does look like Mario's not going to complete it, so he's going to be a P3 time right there.
Yeah, Mario's had some challenges on this track. He was even talking about some challenges on certain turns. Exit of certain turns have been a challenge for him. I mean, he's a very adept road racer, but like all drivers, you have your tracks you love, you have your tracks you hate. They're just your nemesis, and that's true, I think, of all drivers.
Roy Simeka is going to be your pole sitter for this little ditty that we're going to have here. 45 minutes of racing, and we've got more than just a few drivers out there, but I think one of them did not qualify. That's quite all right. Kevin Delia didn't qualify. They're just going to get out there and they're going to try to run. That's what they want to do.
Absolutely. Roy, I'm not seeing a lot of stats on Roy, so good showing for him on the pole. TJ Bursk right behind him, Miranda in P3. Matthew Belt, strong showing already here as we're going into the third race of the season. Mario and Matthew Belt tied in the points right now. They have one win apiece, but Matthew Belt edging him out on most laps led.
Matthew Belt won at the last race that we were at. That was Lime Rock Park. Mario Miranda has a win in his belt already as well. That's going to be over there at the Daytona Road Course. But Detroit, it is, so we were talking about uneven. That track right there is one heck of a bumpy ride. Of course, I went out and rode a few laps with everybody earlier, and that was definitely a handful, that's for sure. I was driving my Porsche. So,
yeah. As I understand it, Jason, Bel Isle, it is a pure street course. None of this is track asphalt. Like these are public roads, to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong. But you've got like different areas of concrete that are just like in different stages, if that's correct. Stages of repair and age. So they're going to have more grip in some areas, and it's going to be less grip in the others. Watching qualifying and practice, guys were dealing with some very tight race cars. They are pushing through those corners.
Well, trying their best to hold on to it, especially if you hit a turtle or if you don't brake enough into a turn. Some of these turns are first gear turns. Some of them are ones that you can carry through, but most definitely a huge racetrack. We're going to look at the starting grid right here. You're going to have Roy Simeka. He's going to be the 211 out there. He's going to have that pole position. Rolling restart here with TJ Bursk out of the Rowdy Motorsports team. He's going to be there on the outside pole position. Mario Miranda, Matt Belt there as well. Michael Newbrow in there with Drinking Bros Racing. Josh Klinger, Joseph Miranda. You're going to hear some of the drivers in there. And then Kevin Delia is going to be out there. Shane White as well. And some of the drivers getting some of that in there. I'm gonna take a second real quick.
That's quite all right.
I'm going to take care of that. You don't hear it.
That's all right. And I have to say, this is an exciting track. Watching it earlier or last year in 2019 with the IndyCar series, this is a very tight course. And I've noticed there are very few passing opportunities, very few opportunities to overtake at this track. So you really got to, if you're in second place, if you're in a position to pass, you got to really stalk your driver, wait for a mistake, and then seize that opportunity.
Well, 13 turns is what they're going to have. And if you look at the grid out there on your screen, you're going to be able to see 45-minute race, GTE class, 78-degree air temperature, 37% humidity, clear skies, 11-mile-an-hour wind. So it's very windy out there. You see the trees shaking. Full configuration, the full Detroit Grand Prix Bel Isle road course, 2.34 miles, track temperature at 95 degrees Fahrenheit right now, as Detroit is the location. Good run going so far. Pace car is going to dive off. We're going to see them get that rolling start going here in just a moment. As
Bradley Dunson joining in, ready to watch some road racing action as we go green.
Semeka getting a lead out there. Semeka getting a lead.
BMWs up front.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. That's
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're perfect. I have two conversations going on at once. It's all cool. Two BMWs. You got Semeka and Miranda Bursk out there in third, and he's in that Corvette. We were talking about the C8 just a little bit ago, and your experience with that.
I got to see the C8. It did a parade lap at Road Atlanta last year, October of 19 for the Petit Le Mans. It was such a beautiful car to watch. Mid-engine for the first time Corvette. And fun fact here as we get early into this race, Jason, Zora Duntov had conceptualized a mid-engine Corvette going back to 1955.
Well, from 1955 up until now, they've had an opportunity to have the C8 or the Corvette industry be a part of the Road Series in IMSA Series, and then of course we know that the Corvette I think they won the Detroit Grand Prix last year. As far as that was part of that grand scheme. So releasing the new C8, the 2020 C8, it was absolutely amazing to see iRacing bring that in here.
I was so happy to see iRacing get on it so quickly because they kept this car very much under wraps for a long time before its ultimate release, and they've had a great opening showing in IMSA competition for this year in the GTLM class. It's such a beautiful car to look at. I'm just thrilled with it, and I really want one, and I'm hoping we win Powerball so my wife buys me one.
I tell you what, you get one, you pass one my way. So we have 6 BMWs in the field today. We have one Corvette that's out there, and then of course Matt Belt. He won, or he's had a good showing as well, but he's got that Ford out there, 23 seconds off of the lap. I think he started from the pits, but don't count this guy out. He is there trying to learn the course and run the course a little bit as he goes, I would say.
Jason, I was going to ask you from a weight distribution standpoint, a track that is as tight as Bel Isle, will it favor the mid-engine, rear-engine cars like Porsche, the Ford GT, or the Corvette over these very front-engine V8 and wide BMW M8s?
Well, the BMWs, as far as what we were hearing in practice, as we look on with Mario Miranda getting into the wall right there, the Corvettes typically have that rear wheel downforce, especially with the way that it grips around these corners. As we just see Mario Miranda hit pit road. TJ Burst trying to close the distance now between he and Semeka. The one that I favor most is not. It's one that's not being featured in here. Is the Porsche, the 911 RSR. That Porsche right there has that narrow base for the tighter turns here and has the drive off in that shorter gear ratio. But the Corvette, I think, has the better out speed over the long run, but these BMWs are going to be able to hold it off for a little while.
I think the Corvettes really shine when they're exiting a turn. The Porsches have always been amazing. That boxer engine, that short wheel. I mean, the Porsche is always beautiful to look at on the track. It corners well. It maneuvers through the turns really well. But I've been loving the new BMW M8s, rear drive, front engine. To me, it's a traditional race car. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Well, the BMW being driven by most of the field today. 2 off cars. That's going to be the C8 Corvette. Matt Belt going around Shane Wyatt right now. That was a pass for the Belt man. So I said don't count him out. He is starting to figure out the track. He's got that Ford GT as fast as he can get it.
They are looking really good. Yeah, Mario Miranda had an unfortunate scrape with the wall there. I did not see if he went in or if he's just trying to hang in there. He's holding tight on third. I think about 11 seconds off the pace, though.
Well, Mario Miranda went to pit road. I think he went to get the repairs done. And now on my relative, he's showing up as 7th as he's coming down the outstretched turn right there. I think, we can put the track map up for everybody. Let's
You're right. He is in 7th. I just updated my screen over here.
Track map right there. You see where most of the field is. The 211 of Semeka. He is all the way around about halfway through the track. Most of the field coming through the turn 1 and turn 2, that left-hand turn, long straightaway into turn 3. And I do believe Miranda is really trying to play catch-up now. TJ Bursk just 3 seconds off of Roy Semeka, and I believe Roy is really closing the gap. You can tell the difference on the turns.
Oh, sorry. I was like, Miranda's on a tear right now. I mean, he's got the 5th.
Well, he is. He's getting himself back on track. We did see that he had to come into pit road and get that fast repair. We did put one fast repair in there for him, so it's like getting a brand new car. There is Semeka driving through. He is 3.2 seconds out over the Corvette, but the Corvette, it's like the Corvette closes on the turns, and the BMWs are pulling away on the straight. So that's a little bit different in my point of view, because I can see how TJ Bursk right here might be trying to pull in those turns.
If you could swing that camera over to TJ Bursk, did you notice his paint scheme? It is a gorgeous retro paint scheme to when Dale Earnhardt actually ran this car at the Rolex 24.
He's got the G-Mac number 3 all over it. It is a good-looking paint scheme right there. Very, very, very pretty. And I'm telling you, he's closing the distance on the corners, and then on the straightaways, that's where the gears are being closed, or where the BMWs are starting to pull away. So
that M-Power V8 can really extend in the straightaways, but I do believe that the Corvettes, just like you had mentioned in previous races with the 4 GTs, they do really well in the tight corners. I don't know if it's their center of gravity or the wheelbase or the fact that the engine is behind the driver, but those cars do amazing in tight corners.
Well, better turns right there through 10 through 14 right there, 10 through 12 right there for the young man of Roy Semeka out there. He extended that just a little bit, but a 10th gained over what happened with TJ Bursko. The 211 and the 24, that's what you're going to be seeing. We're going to let you see the car number. That's going to be one of the big ones. The 211 out front. There's the 24, the 17 of Klinger in third, 30 seconds off right now. And these guys have really pulled away. But Belt, he has worked his way through the field, trying to catch the field as well. I think he started from the pits on purpose.
Matthew Belt is a strong driver, and I think he's a pretty savvy driver as well. He drove really solid in Daytona. Him and Mario were neck and neck most of that day until a couple of missteps by Belt, and then Belt just owned the next race in the series.
Klinger in third. He's got Belt and Miranda over the rear of that thing, as we're going to see how a Ford can handle a BMW as they come into turn number 2. I'm sorry, turn number 3 right there. 000 out, coming through the corners. That's going to be Shane Wyatt. He is out there driving for Drinking Bros Racing. Josh Klinger trying to hold on to the position. He's got that Ford all over the rear bumper. And we're going to see what's going to happen here. Who's going to make the pass? Are they going to be able to make the pass?
I'm pretty sure Belt is going to wait and kind of stalk him a little bit. This is a very tight track. Like I said earlier, very few passing opportunities here. You could try to force a solution and pass a little premature, but you could run the risk of wrecking the both of you if you do.
Well, I do believe Matt Belt was trying to put his nose in on that corner right there, but now they are not doing it. That's turn number 11.
He was exploring.
Yep. And then they're going to come down. Here's that speed. What is Belt going to be able to do? Because Miranda's right behind him, so we've got this battle for third going on right here.
You read my mind. Yeah, Miranda's creeping on him right now.
Somebody's going to go. Oh, that's an outset move, outline move. Both drivers driving hard. There's Mario Miranda.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Double inlay pass. Oh, gets up into the wall. Try to run it hard. It gets up into the wall. Now Matt Belt making the pass. Josh Klinger doing so as well. So Klinger getting around Mario Miranda for the time being, and that left side damage is going to have to be contended with here in just a little bit. But
he has considerable damage on the left side, and that is the big thing about this track, Jason, is if you start racing people and not the track, it's going to bite you.
Hard pressed to be in that position, but no doubt he's going to be able to get a few little things done. Good to see you out there. Daryl is watching us out there from Australia. Good to see you, my friend. Semeka is really smooth. He is really smooth. Speaking of which, let's check on him, because right now the 211 has got a lot of things going on passing. Michael Newbrow to put him a lap down. Roy Semeka, the 211 out there. TJ Bursk there. Matt Belt. Josh Klinger in the fourth. Belt trying to catch the field. 40 seconds off of Semeka. But Bursk, he is applying the pressure. He has closed the gap quite a bit.
Bursk is looking really sharp. He's driving very clean right now. He's just slowly reeling them in.
The number 24 running his race the way he knows how to run it. It's like he gains 0.4 of a second and kind of loses 0.4 of a second, but he's starting to figure out those turns that are going to work for him and how he's going to be able to close the distance as they continue to move forward.
Absolutely. You know, going up one position to Semeka, man, he is just cool hand Luke, man. He's just hitting his marks. He's got nothing to worry about right now.
Mario Miranda on pit road, no doubt trying to get those repairs. Looks like he may have started to hit that pit road out, so we're going to see what happens there.
With a 45-minute race, Jason, I think if you have some issue in the first 15, 20 minutes of the race, you still have time to pull a good finish out of this.
Definitely time to work on any repairs that you have. The gap distance has increased over Semeka and Bursk. Full second on the lap on that time, so I think Bursk is... I don't know if he's just settling in, but I know that Semeka is, because that guy right there is really, really moving. The 211 doing a great job. Josh Klinger looks like he got into some things before, so we'll see how
Jason, I think Miranda may have retired the car.
It does look like he did disconnect. Looks like he is out of the race, and that is tough luck from the young man. One of the cars to beat here for sure. TJ Bursk starting to try to close the distance as well. Looks like Matt Belt not far off. Still 42 seconds off of the leaders. 130 on his last lap. Trying to get a top 5. Trying to hold on to that top 3. Klinger, I do believe that guy right there really trying to push the boundaries on what he can do here to learn. A lot of these guys are just learning the track as they go. Some of the best in the world as far as iRacing goes, but at the same time, Detroit can be a handful. You never know what you're going to get with all these cars.
This is a rough track to drive, Jason, as you well know, because you've tried it yourself. It reminds me, I don't know if Jason on the iRacing, if you've tried Long Beach, narrow areas, very, very few passing opportunities.
Now, you don't have to have a whole lot of passing opportunities to really make it work. You just have to hold on to what you can, and hope hope that somebody else makes a mistake. And that's the kind of driver that I am. Daryl said he was about 7 to 8 seconds lap slower than these guys, so you played it safe from watching from the couch. Well, I tell you what, Daryl, right now, if you were out there still driving, you would be at least ahead of one driver.
Bradley Dunson, proud of the guys first and second running right now on the Facebook chat.
Semeka and Bursk. We're going to look at the lap time scheme right here. You can see it on the bottom of your screen. Lap 9, Bursk was 0.4 of a second faster. On lap 8, he was almost 1.3 seconds off of the pace of Semeka, so I think he might have gotten into a situation there. But Semeka coming around, he's going to have some his hands full, because I tell you what, that Corvette looks like he might be trying to pull in some distance here, and lap traffic is about to be right there in front of the 211.
Yep, lap traffic's going to start changing things here. We've gone pretty much caution-free for the first 17 minutes of this race, 45-minute race. And, I mean, Matthew Belton third is about a good 40, 44 seconds off the pace, but I do expect him to close that once we start doing some pit stops.
Well, at 45 minutes, if nobody wrecks and their fuel is set correctly, they may not have to pit. Now, that is all dependent on if they have any damage or if they have any of those models that may affect them. 0.3 of a lap slower on lap 10 for Bursk, so Semeka pulling away just a little bit on that lap. But now, you know, I see the gap decreasing, but I look in the field of view right there as we watch the 211 run. I tell you what, Bursk, it seems like he's really hitting the corners he's comfortable with very, very well.
Bursk is looking really good. He is running a really clean line through some of these very tight turns, but I don't know. I mean, I've been really impressed with Semeka tonight.
Looks like the BMWs are there in the top three. We have one of each in the field. Bursk and a Corvette and the Ford GT driven by this man, the 41 of Matt Belt. You know, it's so funny, the back of these cars. I had a livery on my Ford GT that was what was it? The Angry Birds pigs, and
I love Angry Birds.
And if you look at the rear of that vehicle, it looks like a pig's snout and the eyes perfectly. So that's why I chose it. You'll never be able to unsee that again out there if you're watching and listening.
It's
going to be
painted,
there.
It's painted a picture in my mind that I can't gouge out now. Thank you.
I might have to convince Matt Bell to run the Angry Bird scheme that I have, so that way we can put it out there for everybody.
You know, Jason, I got to hand it to the BMW because I was not expecting the BMW to not only be in front, but even extend its lead over the Corvettes and the Ford GTs.
Well, the C8 is the car of choice here at Detroit, as we've seen them win and dominate in the IMSA series over the last year. And I mean, they won the manufacturer championship in 2019. So this is where, this is really where they are supposed to shine. So maybe Bursk's just trying to get that feel. Maybe he's just doing his laps. He's okay with. I mean, every lap that he pulls out there, he is pulling a second more over Matt Belt, a second and a half, if not more, as they continue to run. A little bit loose on the exit right there on turn 12 as he comes around and hits that nice long straight lap, turn 13 for the 24 machine. He's going to come around front stretch again, turn 1.
The Corvettes have, I've been so impressed with the C8. They're showing in the IMSA season this year, you know, especially dealing with what you and I are affectionately calling Voldemort. The season finale was not the Petite Le Mans in Road Atlanta, but the 12 Hours of Sebring in Florida. And the Corvettes did not have a good showing in Sebring. And, I mean, that track is so bumpy. These cars were just breaking. They were just falling apart. Suspension problems, braking problems. I think one of the cars broke their oil cooler on one of the turns. It was a interesting 12 Hours of Sebring if anybody had a chance to watch it last weekend.
The 12 Hours of Sebring was an amazing race. I did watch, I was watching one of the BMWs. They were coming into pit road and they had a great run. And then next thing you know, I think one of the drivers got a little right side damage and they were trying to repair it right there. And then they were like, you know, our day's done. And I was like, that's not right.
Exactly. I feel you. Maybe in this road series, Jason, we could look at a 10 or 12 hour enduro.
Well, the plan is to, at one point, have a full 24-hour race. So,
driver changes.
Yes, with driver changes, team changes. Yes, have a full 4-car team and do it the way you're supposed to do it. Put some money on the line, get some sponsors out there, and we're gonna try to develop that. We are developing the Signature Esports Road Series, and if you want to be a part of the Signature Esports Road Series, make sure that you get out there on all of the platforms. Get a hold of us, signatureesports.com. Hit the Road Series application. This is one of our paid-in leagues, so you have to pay a driver's fee. But the driver's fee goes right into the pot, and we pay out the top 3 at the end of the series. At the end of the season.
I'm envisioning a quick trip endurance series.
I love it.
Quick trip. You need to be a part of this.
Yeah, endurance would be absolutely. I do like endurance races. I wanted a road series. Sometimes people are like, well, road series racing is boring, and our field's a little bit small right now because we're developing this. But I will tell you that once it's up and going, it will most definitely be the series to be in. There's a lot of road series racing out there. There's a lot of companies that do it, but we want to do it our own way, and we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to develop drivers into better road series drivers. Because a lot of these guys that are in here, I say a lot, about 3 or 4 of them, they're oval racers. They drive in our eNASCAR series. They wanted to get out here and they wanted to apply the pressure and do the best that they can and finish where they could.
I have to say, I'm a little biased, obviously, because Mario Miranda is my son, and he became a very talented road racer before ovals. And he's really, I think he has shown prowess in both series. But also, when you talk about road racing, it is not, it may not be the most exciting thing to watch on TV, especially when you're doing 12-hour or 24-hour racing. But to go to these things live, that's the best part about road racing, because what you do is, and Jason, if you've ever done one of these endurance races before, but you got your little folding camping chair, and maybe you camp out on turn 5 for about a half an hour. Then you go over to turn 14. It just depends on whatever track you're at. And it's so much fun to watch these cars negotiate these turns in real time. You have also diversity of manufacturer. Unlike any other series in the world, IMSA Sports Car Racing has the most diverse array of manufacturer, and that is a lot of fun to watch.
Well, it's a lot of fun for me to watch just being right here in my office chair with the 6 screens going, making sure that everything is flowing as smooth as possible. But the end all to be all for road series racing is to be as competitive as possible, and there's a lot of money involved with sponsors, with development, with wind tunnel testing, just everything that you could hold on to and you could see here. We're talking $500,000 cars,
Sure,
just to throw them on the track, and that's not including any modifications that they have to do. And some of these cars, they go out there, they go out with 2 cars, and one for a backup, and when they go out there with those cars, there's a possibility that they're going to have $1 million, $2 million just thrown out the window if one of these cars gets into a wall.
Oh yeah, and some of the manufacturers that we're not seeing here in on the e-racing, but in real life, you're seeing McLaren, Lamborghini, Ferrari, and these are very expensive cars when they're not racing. And then just to prep these cars for competitive road racing series, there's a lot of money involved in this sport, but it's great. The fan access is unparalleled to any other professional sport.
One of the cars that we do see here, and we just don't have one in the track today, is going to be the Ferrari. We do have a Ferrari in the GTE series, and it drives amazing. It just only drives amazing when it has a long run scenario. Like the Daytona Road Course is perfect for it. The Watkins Glen with the long boot is good. It's good for that.
The Ferraris look really good at Daytona, and even in Le Mans as well.
Le Mans, yes, absolutely. And we go to Le Mans here, I believe here in a few weeks. So, but we're definitely going to be able to see how this series is going to develop, and then hopefully they add a McLaren into the GTE series. I know the GT3s have the BMWs, the Porsche, and I believe that they have a Ferrari in there as well. The LMPs, the LMP1s, the LMP2s. Of course, we've seen the Dallara in there. We've seen the Ferrari in there. Those are cars that we're absolutely thrilled to be able to bring in here in the next few months as we develop this series, I look forward to being able to get out there and have those cars run.
I'm wondering if iRacing, as a server of all this, are they going to be moving more towards IMSA specs? So we're going to see GTD, GTLM, the DPIs, and the LMP2s in competition next year.
Well, I do know that they do have an IMSA class racing league around. That's one of the things that we're trying to develop. And so I believe that the class series, as they scan these vehicles and they get the specs in there and the coding, they'll be able to find find a niche for there, because there is a niche for all of this. I mean, we have a lot of Australian, French, Spaniards, Canadian drivers that love this, and a lot of American drivers that do absolutely enjoy road series racing, because it takes you virtually go all over the world without having to go all over the world.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to do this.
Josh Klinger being gained on by Kevin Delia, the number 53. I think Klinger has a little bit of right side damage right there, and a little left side nose damage as well. So he is just wheeling around. He wants to finish the race, maybe get a top 5 out of it.
Yeah, he's working towards that. That's actually a more exciting battle to watch, because first and second are extending on third place Matthew Belt, almost a full minute ahead of third place right now.
The battle from Semeka, something must have happened there, because Semeka just lost a whole second and a half to TJ Bursk, and TJ Bursk, it must have been some lap traffic he was trying to get around. But TJ Bursk, he is still continuing to run, and he's closed that gap. We're talking 4.5 seconds, and it was over 6 seconds just a little bit ago.
Yep, and I'm showing now the top 3 cars only on the lead lap. If I'm seeing the same telemetry as you, Klinger is now a lap down in 4th place. I saw that. This is a wide car. I've actually seen this car in real life in the paddock at Road Atlanta. It is a big car.
Sounds like we had
car. Oh, somebody spun.
It's like Michael Newbrow got spun around right there. There it is. We're going to look at it right here.
And that's in a tight area. He's trying to right. He's going back and forth. He's doing a 5-point turn right now.
Oh, man. Nowhere to go. So he's turned around right there, trying to get out of everybody's way.
His front end is gone. He has got considerable damage.
Josh Klinger trying to close the distance on Matt Belt, but Matt Belt definitely quite a ways away. Fastest lap of the race just done by TJ Bursk. As I take that back, fastest lap of the race for Roy Semeka is going to be a 127 or 127.42. TJ Bursk just completed his fastest lap of the race, 127.99. So maybe he adjusted his fuel right there, his fuel mixture, and maybe is trying to push it a little bit harder.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't realize, that they can change their fuel mixture in real time.
All the in-car settings that you have in real life, you have all the in-car settings just the same right here.
I love that.
And then any adjustments that you have to make on pit road, those are adjustments that you have to do those, of course, on pit road. So it's about as realistic as you can be. There's some things that you can't do, of course, but fuel mixture being one of those good things that you can adjust. And now that 4.5 second gap, as you see the 24 car running his line, he's trying to get around Shane Wyatt right there, using a front stretch, a little whip and dive coming around. He's going to hit that start-finish line. And his lap time just a little bit quicker than Semeka right there, so he's closing the distance.
He is definitely trying to reel him in. We're at 32 minutes right now of 45. I think he's got plenty of time to make it happen.
Seeing the 2:11 try to pull away. 0.3 of a second faster is Bursk on Semeka. So now, quite possibly, maybe, I don't know if it was a setup issue. Maybe it was just a, he's trying to save now, but we'll see how that goes here in just a moment.
Okay. Semeka has dominated this race pretty much from the start. He's been looking really strong in the BMW M8. Surprisingly to me, with such a tight track, I was not expecting the front engine rear drive cars to be doing so well at this track, but they have showing some dominance here tonight. Semeka newer to the series. He's owning this race today, but our top performers in the series so far, as we are in race 3, Mario Miranda is tied for the points lead with Matthew Belt at 34 points, with Jason Guerrera at 26 points, Josh Klinger 25 points, Kevin Delia at 21 points on the season, entering this race with most laps led being given to Matthew Belt right now at 59 laps led coming up into this race. These stats will be updated, of course, at the close of this race. Still watching Royce Semeka right now as he is taking that BMW M8 around. Of course, my statistics screen just got a little pixelated right now, so I'm trying to discern these numbers that I'm looking at right here on the race. We've had a couple of retirements already on the race today. Daryl Paget and Mario Miranda, I think, have retired their cars for the evening.
Thank you. I had to take a moment there. Thank you very much for that, Joe. I had to take a moment. I have children. We all have children.
We all do.
And my children were doing some fun stuff. Just make sure.
My wife considers me the sixth child.
That's perfect. That's exactly where I'm at. I like being a kid.
I feel like you could relate to that.
Yes. Semeka and Bursk out there. Bursk is his gap's gone, man. The laps have kind of changed off over the last 2 laps. Semeka's kind of pulled away.
Semeka's last lap was a 128.469. He's still turning strong laps, but I do believe Bursk is going to reel him in.
TJ Bursk is not far off. 5 seconds looks like this right here. Oh, he gets up into the wall, gets a little bit loose. So Bursk just a little bit loose right there, and now has a little rear quarter panel damage. But it didn't tear off the spoiler, so the rear wing, so we should be good. Man, he's drifting around that corner. He is trying to catch him fast.
He has been really trying hard to run him down. He has got Semeka in his sights. But this is one of those tracks, Jason, where I really believe you have to really focus on your marks more than the car in front of you. This is a tight track. It will bite you if you don't show it some respect.
Well, not only that, but the drive line for each driver is going to be different. The cars handle differently. You really can't look at that relative and go, all right, well, I've got to really gain here. I've really got to gain here. You just do what you do. Now, all that time that Bursk just lost, he gained it back up right there. So he hit the wall.
That's insane.
And lost 0.6 of a second. And it looks to me like Semeka lost a lot of ground right there. So he's getting ready to meet up with Kevin Delia. Delia, number 53.
Oh, Bursk he went really wide. He just really misjudged that turn. He almost hit the wall in that last turn.
Well, I think he might be trying to really push the boundaries and and try to catch that time. But yeah, look at him go. He's got 6.5 seconds now between he and Roy. But we were talking about Kevin Delia as he's almost about to be lapped again. But Delia, top 5 finish here still. That's points on an 18-point scale. That still matters. So getting out there and running is important. Roy, not far off. You see the distance right there. The gap closing. That left side damage really a part of the problem for Kevin Delia. And these guys, they can put their own setups in the car. Some of these guys are running their own setups, so they've got a faster line or they've got faster setups. But iRacing does come with several different setups that you can do, that you can use. So they've got a high downforce, a low downforce. They've got medium. They've got a baseline setup that's pretty nice. So you can really turn good laps with what they give you. But we have this is an open league, so you're able to really push the envelope and change the settings that you need to, as long as, of course, it clears what the iRacing calls their inspection and passes specs.
And then also when you think about the tracks that you're dealing with right now, Bel Isle here has some very, very tight corners where I don't think aero is as important for a track like Detroit as opposed to a Le Mans where you have the Mulsanne straight. So this is a very interesting track. It's interesting to watch the sports cars here, and then when the Indy cars come through here, this is a neat track.
Well, one of the things that I would say is that when I ran this track earlier, I did test sessions, of course. On the Porsche, I was using a medium downforce just so that way I had all over grip. And then on the C8, I was actually using a high downforce, not the maximum, but a high downforce setup. And the high downforce allowed my rear end to grip a lot. Even in the corners, I could brake better, and then I could brake more steady, and then I could get into the corners just a little bit more free on the exit. So it allowed me to push the boundaries on the car on the corners.
Absolutely, and Burst making a big pass here on somebody. Can't see it on my screen who he just passed. That was very fast who he just passed.
I think he just passed Kevin Delia. Kevin Delia went a lap down on Royce Seneca just a little bit ago. So the 211 continued to move forward, and now that he's made that pass, he's got all that time he has to make up from being behind him, and he is really trying to close the distance.
He is trying, but we've got just under 5 minutes to go in this race here. Not sure if he's going to do it. I think Semeca just has to focus on hitting his marks and just running his race the track.
Even if it's just a P2 here is still worth 16 points. So that right there is still a good drive off. And he's been competitive. He's gaining a little, he's losing a little, he's gaining a little, he's losing a little. That all in all hindsight makes a ton of sense and really is going to be the ultimate ground gain because he's learned a track that he can be competitive at. And maybe when we come back to Detroit, he'll be able to have a new setup.
And Jason, just looking at the driver standings for the Esports Road Series, neither Bursk nor Semeca are on. Oh no!
Man,
Bursk just hit the wall. Oh, that's gonna hurt. That was massive left front damage.
Man, oh man, just when we were talking great things, now the man has to get back into it.
He just locked him up. It locked him. Oh man, his car is not handling right.
Oh, frustrations. He's got to get back into the Grand. If he can't reset, he's got to get in there. He locked up his left front. That left front damage is playing a big factor. So Semeca is gonna pretty much walk away with what's going on here. But Matt Belt, if that
Belt could close on him,
if that damage right there does what I think it's going to do, if he doesn't get to pit road as fast as possible, because I don't think that he hasn't been to pit road yet, so he hasn't used that fast repair. So this is something that could really affect his car if he has another incident.
Bursk might be able. Oh no, he just locked up again. He could not make that corner. His damage has given him a massively tight race car. He cannot make these turns. He's understeering miserably, and all the while, Belt is closing and closing and closing on him.
We'll see the damage when he comes around to close. Oh, disconnection. Looks like TJ Bursk blinked out for me there for just a moment.
He sure did. Oh, loose out of that corner. Yeah, he is wrestling this car right now. This car is fighting him immensely right now. We're seeing left and right front damage. We might even have some rear diffuser damage on that car.
I figured he was going to come to pit road, and he did. So now you're going to see him park it. He's going to get that damaged fixed.
Looking at the overall delta here, though, I do believe he's going to maintain a respectable position for this race.
We're going to see very shortly. I know that Belt coming around here in just a little bit. We're talking 2 minutes, 7 seconds right here.
Yep, move my camera view over to Belt. He's working his way around right now. He is almost there.
Fast repair taken care of for TJ Bursk. Matt Belt is right on his tail.
Oh, this is going to be tight. Bursk is back out on the track, but Belt is closing. 1 minute to go in this race. We should see the white flag next time around.
Gives me a 45-minute timer. We're going to see how this is going to play out. You're going to see all of that timer on the top left. It says 41:34 on our end, but iRacing doesn't always update the timing correctly. So on my screen, it says 41:43, but that is all about lap times. Kevin Delia did his fastest lap of the race, 1:32.244.
Delia with a strong showing this evening.
Top 5 finish. Still not bad. Mario Morita out early. He's 21 laps down. Still going to get credit for 8th place finish. So the last car out. Michael Newbrow with his team. He's got Shane Wyatt substituting today. We didn't speak very much of that guy. He got spun around just right there. I was just looking at that. But Shane Wyatt, he's a good oval driver, and he decided he was going to step into a car and help the team fulfill some responsibilities. So you're going to get team points there. And that's going to put the way that it looks like by points finish, when we update our team point standings, that'll put the Drinking Bros Racing team up front. And speaking of other teams, Semeka, he is out there. Bursk is out there. Matt Belt, he is a part of all of that. I think Belt's part of Lights Out Esports. We'll have to figure all of that out. But we're going to get all that stuff updated. We've been working on it. It's been a whole lot of fun. And, we just wanted to throw a series up and call it good and let some people race for fun. 1 minute, 3 seconds is the gap between first and second. Bursk now,
and I'm showing that time. We're past the 45 mark. This should be Semeka coming around for the checkered, or am I looking at that wrong?
The 45-minute mark is in there. So when Semeka comes around, that's going to be the last lap to be completed. He hasn't got. He should not have gotten the white flag just yet. This should be the white flag lap coming by. That is according to what I know of all of this. So we'll see that.
Switching my camera view to Semeka for this final lap. He is looking really strong right now. He has just run this race clean. There's not a lick of damage on his car, Jason.
Here's a look from the front nose bumper of this vehicle as he comes around turn 11 into turn 12 right here. And then you're going to have this huge straightaway through 3 gears down to second all the way through. This is 13. Sorry, that was 12. Got my relative off here. That was 12. This is 13 front stretch. Boom. All right. So that's going to be white flag for this gentleman as he comes around. This will be the last lap for the 2:11, 44:30. By the time he comes back around, he'll take that checkered flag. So what a drive-off, barring anything that could happen here, as you see the 2:11 driving A heck of a race. Had TJ Bursk all over his car, and then TJ, late race mistake, puts him 1 minute 4 seconds off. And he's still running heck of a laps. I mean, Bursk went in to get that fast repair, saving it till the very end just in case something happened. Last lap for him of 128.61, 127.65 for Semeka, the 11. And he's doing a great job of holding on to that right there. He's going to take a couple of final turns, and we're going to go down to the end.
I think Burst just realized time was against him. He had to step up his game and got a little ambitious there and just took some of those corners a little too hard.
The 211 coming around for the final 2 turns right here. Long turn at number 12. And then the final leg right here. He's going to take the checkered flag.
Here he comes.
Race win for the 211. TJ Bursk has 1 minute 4 seconds to gain as he continues to move around. 10 seconds off is Matt Belt from P2. As you're going to see all of this right here. These guys still have to come around and take the checkered flag. As Michael Newbrow might end up finishing where he is at. 8 laps down as these guys go. Somebody went around right there. Does look like.
Got to hand it to TJ Burst, though. I mean, even having that damage, having to go in, do a quick repair, managed to maintain his second place.
And had enough gap over third that it really it paid off for him. It could have come down where Matt Belt had passed him, and so a good drive with he and the race winner in the 211 of Roy Semeka. He really did a great job of battling there, and I think those guys, if it had come down to it and he hadn't pushed it as hard as he did, he would have really had that race in hand. Matt Belt coming around for that third place finish.
Yeah, I have to say I was expecting Matthew Belt to be running a little bit closer by the end of this race, but Detroit is a hard track.
Josh Klinger comes on fourth. So the race results right here as Roy has finished the track and owned it himself. The 211 first, Bursk in second, Belt in third, Klinger in fourth, Delia in fifth, Shane Wyatt, Michael Newbrow, and Mario Miranda. That's going to round out the rest of them. And, of course, us three, we don't count.
No, we don't count.
No, we don't count. Daryl was in here. Daryl wanted to get out there, but I want to give a big shout-out to Daryl. Daryl is out here to help Signature Esports grow and the Road Series and kind of all the series that we do. So, big special thank you to that guy.
He is our favorite Aussie.
He is iRacing's favorite Aussie.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Everybody's having a great day and a great time. We do love what we do here, and I do believe. Let's see if Roy is available. I want to see if he's available at least. There he is. Roy, what a drive off for you there. The 211. You really, I got to hand it to you. You would gain on TJ and TJ would gain on you, and then it was like a battle in the relatives, but a clean race car and a clean drive off. Congratulations. First race with Signature Esports Road Series, and you really held your own there. Roy, you got me there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
All right. Congratulations on the win right there. We're still live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Good drive off, and you really did it, man. Nice little camp for Detroit Road Course. Tell everybody how you did it. I mean, because we're all wondering.
Well, I'm pretty familiar with this circuit, and I spent all week just trying to work on my qualifying. So I knew qualifying was going to be important. The way this track is, there's no runoff, and if there was any wreck, there's the beginning, it was going to bottleneck, and so I just put all my efforts on qualifying and try to qualify up front, which I did, and then just got off in the race and I knew just keep it off the wall, run consistent, and never really pushed it unless I had to. And I knew if I could keep it clean out there in front, I kind of set the pace and I could run it as hard as I needed to. And I was, just had a good race, man.
Definitely a good drive off. Joe, any questions for him?
No, I was just impressed with that drive. The lines were clean. You just kept extending your lead, kept turning in fast laps. I could tell you were very much a student of this track. Did you find any challenges with this particular track surface today?
It seemed a little slick, especially at the beginning, and then all that fuel, not a mandatory pit stop, so we all had we almost full on fuel, and it was just, it did seem a little green. The surface did, but I was just running just hard enough to keep it up front, and only pushed it when I had to a few times. But all in all, it was a pretty good race, man. Enjoyed racing with everybody.
Well, good deal. We're going to grow the Signature Esports Road Series, but you've got a win in the books, and that's 18 points in your pocket.
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations once again to you, Roy, and we will for sure see you next week. Or I'm sorry, we're going to see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I'll see y'all then.
Alrighty. That's Roy right there doing a heck of a job of holding on to probably one of the best Road Series races, or cleanest drive-offs that I've seen, and we're only 3 races in, so we're going to have a whole lot of fun to be had. Joe, it was a good race. It was clean. We saw a few accidents, we saw a few crashes, but for the most part, Detroit was kind to almost everybody.
I was not expecting this race to be so caution-free because it is so tight. It is so narrow, and I expected some very ambitious people try to dive that nose in, try to make something happen, and really just impressed with the driving I saw tonight.
Oh, a whole lot of fun. TJ, you did a great job out there. We have a router down over here, so I want to make sure that we get all that stuff fixed. Congratulations by everybody. TJ did a great job. We saw what was going on there, and then at the end of the day, I tell you what, I was impressed by, I want to say, all the drivers. Everybody. What a great race.
If this is any indication of what's to come, I am looking forward to the road racing season.
Oh, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Thank you to everybody out there on all the platforms, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all over the nation. Make sure you go and follow us on Vimeo, on Roku, on just everything. Find us on Instagram as well. Signature Esports is the platform. This is the Signature Esports Road Series. Joe, I'm going to see you here. I'm probably going to see you here in the next week or so.
Oh, yeah, you'll be seeing more of me. I think I'm going to be working my way towards a food coma in the next week here for Turkey Day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, tomorrow, and make sure you join us tomorrow night, Real Racing Online Dirt Street Stock Series. That's going to be a whole, actually, I'm saying Real Racing Online Dirt Series, because we're adding some more cars. I wanted to do it. I love it. We're going to be doing it. Joe, I'll see you.
We got ovals, we got road racing, we got dirt, we got it all. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Have a great night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving if we don't see you, but tune in tomorrow night, 8:20 Eastern. We're going to have dirt racing. We just had road racing. We might as well do it. Good night from Detroit, and we'll see you later.